What is up, everybody? Hope y'all having a great day, great week, great weekend whenever y'all are tuning in. You are tuned in to RBLR Bulls. My name is Carter Brantley, one of the co-hosts of this show. Thank y'all for stopping by. Hope you're ready to talk some USF athletics because it was an eventful week. I know I say that every time, but this was a particularly eventful one. All the conference championships with the men's and the women's basketball teams are starting up. The men's team are cooking. The women's team also had a very good week. So it's a lot to talk about, but can't go any further without introducing my wonderful co-host, Mr. Musab Tariq. How are you today, my man?
So far, so good. Like the famous saying, this is March or whatever it is, for March Madness and all that. March has arrived. I'm just, excited for some, USF basketball on both ends. So excited to see how good both of our teams are. And yeah, man. But there's more than just basketball, though. We got a whole lot of other USF teams who are cooking. So yeah, man. What a time to be a USF Bull.
Yeah, man. It's it's a heck of a time, man. Yeah, I mean, there's a really a really good feeling around the USF athletics department right now for good reason. That there's just so much good vibes, so many good feelings because really there's not a team that you can point to that you can say, oh well, they're struggling, like they're not going to have a good year. Like no, pretty much all of them are at least in a position to at the very least be competitive, if not be at the top or near the top of their respective conferences. So it's really exciting, man. Yeah, I'm excited to get into it, and we'll start off with the men's basketball team because. They're about to start conference play and they won their conference. They won the full outright, no shares or anything. I know that the share was sort of part of the original win last weekend against Tulane, but they took a W against Memphis and that clinched the entire AAC. No no sharing to be done. And they took down Memphis 96 to 89. It was a little bit closer than you probably expect because Memphis has had a pretty rough year. But they were playing in Memphis, so a game on the road against a team with as much talent, even if those talented players haven't necessarily played up to their ceiling. Still really nice win to sort of add to their docket, another road victory, another road conference victory. And it was program history too. It was win number 750 all time. And they've been around since 1971. I was kind of surprised to read that because, frankly, I still think of USF as being sort of a young university athletically. But obviously the basketball program started way before the football program, so I'm thinking more in terms of football. But yeah, it's their program record 9th win with the away jerseys on. When they're on the road. That brought them to 22-8. It secured the number 1 seed for the tournament before the game even ended, frankly. But it was nice to get that victory. So who are some individual performances that you thought really stood out from this game? Because I know Wes Ennis was great. Was there anyone else that put on a clinic, shall you say?
Yeah, dude. Wes Ennis balled out 29 points, 9 for 9 on the free throws. Joshua Majafo, he stepped up to the plate with 21 points, 7 for 9 for shooting, 3 for 4 from 3, and just all around just effort. And I do wanted to, give him a special shout out just because our star player Isaiah Nelson didn't have his best game. And it happens, but I feel like it's always 3 people who always, are the stars of the game. So it's, you think from your head, it's, Pinion and Ennis with the shooting, and then you have Isaiah Nelson just doing it all. And then usually, you got CJ Brown, splashing in, some assists or some
Running
points.
the
But
offense.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, he's a floor general. But in this case, it was Joshua Majafo. I mean, he's always been a great role player and all that. But
For
I mean,
sure.
this was his game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Joshua Majafo, yeah, 21 points. But just all around, really good stuff. Just from the whole team. They put up a good fight. At times, it did get close. But I do want to highlight something special about this team is just how fast paced our offense is. And, regardless of, whether we were only up by 1 point or by 10 points, I mean, we kept up that tempo the whole time. We didn't slow things down. We didn't hesitate. So that was real nice to see.
Yeah, man. I mean, Oma Jafo is sometimes the forgotten man, quote unquote, because he is sort of the role player, the glue guy. He's a very good slasher. He gets to the free throw line at a high rate in terms of his usage. Like, I know that he doesn't put up the raw numbers necessarily that guys like Pinion and Ennis and CJ Brown and Isaiah Nelson do, but yeah, it was really tremendous to see him, especially shoot it so well from deep, because you think of him as more of, like I said, getting to the bucket. But the ability to stretch the floor, in addition to Ennis and Pinion doing that normally, which they do at such an elite level. I mean, they've both got 95 plus threes, each of them individually, which is just absolutely insane. And so it was really great to see that kind of performance from him. Some more historic stuff. They have record 15 games of 90 plus points, top 4 all time in the state of Florida's history. They've put up over 2,600 total points this season. Their mark is second most in the history of the program. So really cool stuff from that win against Memphis, and a lot of really excellent performances across the board. And then, of course, their finale, the senior night, it was kind of the victory lap, and boy, howdy, was it a victory lap. They demolished Charlotte. It wasn't even close. 83-60, a 23-point margin of victory. And I know, going into the game, they already had the AAC locked up. They didn't really need to win this game, but let's say the impossible happen, or not the impossible, but let's say disaster strikes. They don't win this AAC championship tournament, which, by the way, they're in the semifinals. We'll get into the specifics in a little bit later, but they're the 1 seed, so they only have to win 2 games. But let's say they were to lose in the semifinals. Losing to Charlotte would have made it pretty much impossible for them to get in as an at-large bid. And frankly, losing in the semifinals might make it impossible anyways. But if they make it to the finals and they lose that one in a close affair, this Charlotte win, a lack of a Charlotte loss, at least makes it a dream. At least it puts it in the realm of reality. Whereas if they would have lost this game to Charlotte, man, you got to win that tournament. Otherwise, you're not making it to the big dance. So it was a really nice win, really important win, despite the fact that there might not have on the surface been much at stake. So it was really fun. It brought their overall record to 23-8. And it was their 15th conference win, second most in the history of the program. This was Joseph Pinion's night, or day. I guess it was an afternoon game that he went off for 22 points, 5 triples. Lead the scoring on senior day. Wes Ennis also had 20 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. That's really impressive. And Ennis and Pinion both managed to hit that 100 mark, the triple digits for 3-pointers made. And they're just the 12th team in NCAA history with 2 100 triple shooters, like 100 threes made for each of them. So really impressive stuff. Were there any other kind of tidbits or storylines from this game, Mr. Tariq, that you wanted to highlight?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, shout out to the defense. And Carter, like you said, you don't have to win this game, but you don't want to lose on senior day.
Right.
And I also wanted to give a shout out to our USF men's team for ruining Memphis's senior night.
That's right.
So yeah, it's tough, but anyways, no, look, yeah, this USF team is special, and they're not slowing down at all, even against a team like Charlotte. I mean, they're firing on all cylinders. The defense was a brick wall, holding Charlotte to 0 fast break points and only 29 points in the first half. So from the jump, they got the Charlotte boys, to a slow start. As we've been saying, we said it from in the beginning of the episode as well, Carter. We're just seeing history, day by day, minute by minute, bullet by bullet. You know what I'm saying? And this was a season high crowd of 6,700 fans, who were in attendance for that last game. So
heck yeah.
There's something special in that USF air, man. Something special in that Temple Terrace air is what I should really say.
That's right. Hey, the Yingling Center, man. It was
man. The Yingling Center, just the culture. So
yeah,
obviously it helps when your team is really good. And
of course,
I want to give a shout out as well to the social media team for all these athletic programs, dude.
That's right.
I just love to see what the kind of posts they have, especially the breaking news, y'all mad.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. They've got a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, we saw it with the football games. They were doing all the really creative stuff with the cameras.
That no one else did. Yeah, I think that got national recognition.
Yes, it did, and rightfully so. That was getting really creative. Yeah, man, their social team is on one. They're on it. They put in some good work. They do some really creative stuff because you have to, like USF. Obviously, they're not Florida, they're not Miami, they're not FSU, but they're still in the state of Florida, and there's a lot of USF grads out there. So there's still some folks that want to see USF succeed, but you also have to package it in a fun way, because then it just makes it a little bit more enjoyable for everyone involved. So yeah, man, I'm with you. I was really excited to see all that. But even more exciting, there were some awards too. It's they give out all the conference awards. So Musab, give me something on how did USF do? Because like they were the best team in the conference, so they had to have quite a few hardware to add to the trophy case, right?
Yeah, they were the best team in the conference, and they had the best player in the conference.
That's
And you
right.
know who else they had? They had the best defensive player of the conference. You know who
Yeah.
else they had? They had the newcomer player of the year of the conference. And the best part, or the most special part, is that these three awards were awarded to one man. And that was who else but Isaiah Nelson.
Hmm.
So just, yeah, he is the first, AAC player to ever sweep player of the year, defensive player of the year, and then newcomer of the year. I also have to ask you, Carter, I don't know, how new is this newcomer of the year award? I don't think it's
That's a good question, man. Because I feel like with the way that college sports are now,
could be
you
its first year.
yeah, like it's pretty much going to be like the newcomer of the year and the player of the year could very much be like intertwined moving forward for frankly for every conference, but especially for the American, because you could see
Yeah,
like
the transfers and all that. Yeah,
yeah, like so every year you're going to have a guy that maybe comes in from a bigger program that wasn't getting burned or whatever the case may be. And so he comes in and dominates the American Conference, and then he wins newcomer of the year and player of the year. I feel like this is going to be a good bit more common moving forward. But it's really cool that Isaiah Nelson was the first to win all three of those awards. That's outstanding stuff. Yeah, it is a good question though, because like newcomer of the year, like it has to be a recent thing because
but even yeah, defensive player of the year as well. That just tells you this guy he can do it
yeah,
all on offense, and he can play defense, man. That
that's right.
makes an NBA scout drool when you see a star player on offense be able to play defense as well.
Yeah, yeah, man. I really hope he gets at least like a two-way deal, something like that. Because man, it'd be really cool for USF to have another, because I think they have Youngblood right now in OKC. I think he's on a two-way deal. And man, it'd be cool to have some USF representation in basketball, because they've had a little bit in football and it's been fun. With Jason Pierre-Paul and with George Selvey played a little bit. Marlon Mack, obviously, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. They've even the tight end Mitchell Wilcox. He was playing for the Bengals for a while, so it'd be fun to see them get another NBA player, because I think like Dominique Jones back in the day was sort of the NBA USF guy from my childhood, and he has a ring technically. He won it with the Dallas Mavericks, even though I don't think he actually played. But hey, a ring's a ring. That's more rings than I don't know if it's fill in the blank with some super more rings than Anthony Edwards has. I don't know. I'm just spitting out Devin Booker. NBA superstars don't have rings, but Dominic Jones does. So that's all that matters. But regardless, yeah, really historic stuff from Isaiah Nelson. Really impressive. And Coach Brian Hodgson, he won AAC Coach of the Year. He's also a newcomer. Like he could have won the newcomer Coach of the Year, if you will. But there were also some all conference team picks. Mr. Tariq, who were some of those? Who were some of the guys that made there were some newcomer all conference teams too, right? Like all newcomer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. A whole lot of newcomer awards everywhere, man. But yeah, Isaiah Nelson was the only unanimous, first team all conference pick, and also
Very
landed
cool.
a spot on that all newcomer squad. And then Wes
There you go.
Enos joined Isaiah Nelson on that first team, AAC. This is the second time two Bulls have hit the first team in the same year. So that was, again, another historic milestone for
There you go.
USF athletics, or USF men's basketball. But yeah, Joseph Pinion, he got third team all conference and all newcomer honors. And just some other cool, things to note. USF broke the AAC record. Again, another historic milestone for the most 100-point games in a season with 6.
That's pretty cool.
And yeah, they also shattered the previous school scoring record by averaging 88.4 points per game, behind Brian Hodgson's fast-paced system. So
That's pretty
uh,
awesome.
just yeah, man, just special, dude. Just everything about USF, everything about this basketball team. And then Isaiah Nelson. It just makes you want to say, when it comes to comparing them, with the big dogs, it just makes you want to say, give this team a chance, give that kid a chance. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
get it. All right, I get it. He's not AJ Diabansa, however you pronounce his name, from BYU, or I get it. He's not on, the UConn or Gonzaga roster, but give this kid a chance, give this team a chance. So
Yeah.
hey, look, we have a chance, dude. Look, we win the AAC. There it is.
Yeah.
We have a
Absolutely.
chance. So
And speaking of, that's what's next for the Bulls. Sunday, March 14th is when they play the semifinals. The tournament's actually already started. I believe Memphis and Tulane are playing currently. So there's still some basketball to be played even before the big tournament begins. And luckily USF secured a bunch of buys because they were the best team in the American Conference in the regular season. So rightfully so, they get that little pass, and they only have to win 2 games. The hope is obviously that they can make it through and just not even have to worry about an at-large bid, because man, that would really make you sweat, and it would just be really kind of a sick feeling in your stomach, because man, it's just they've just had such a phenomenal season. So obviously you want them to to win this conference tournament, but even if not, this is still such a tremendous start to hopefully a long career for Coach Hodgson at USF. What are your thoughts on the AAC championship and Brian Hodgson?
my only thought is the only team that can beat this USF team is USF.
That's
But
right.
also, my only fear, if it is a factor, it can be a factor, is the whole kind of maybe they have too much rest time. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Maybe
interesting.
they come
Yeah.
out kind of cold, but I doubt it. I mean, you just gotta kick these boys into shape while they're not playing a game. You
Yeah.
got to keep these boys locked in. I'm sure they are, and I know Coach Hodgson is a no nonsense kind of guy. He's really locked in, and
Oh yeah.
he loves his players, like, straight up. He does, as we were talking about before the show. He made that kind of a statement that if anyone tries to reach out to my guys before this season ends, I'm gonna find him, or I forgot exactly what he said, but
Right. It
he
was
will.
some
He was like, he's gonna confront them. There was
right.
gonna be some confrontation.
Yeah.
You know.
You love to hear that from your head coach, because it's just it's kind of fun, it's silly, it's nonsense, but at the same time, like, hey, like, because that's where we're at with college sports, right? It's kind of a wild west type of atmosphere, and yeah, you gotta be kind of protective of your players,
Oh
because
yeah, man. If Isaiah Nelson or Wes Enos were like juniors, I think Wes Enos is maybe.
I think Ennis has one more year at
Yeah.
least. Yeah,
So,
Ennis
oh
has
yeah,
more
man.
eligibility
There's some scouts lurking,
for sure.
scouts lurking around Temple Terrace.
Well, shoot, man, I saw. I mean, we talked about it last week about the scouts showing up to oh shoot, I forget which game. It was
Yeah.
the Tulane game where they clinched.
Yeah. A couple of them came out. A
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
of them
I think
came
it was the
out. Yeah.
Lakers. I think the Magic had a person come out. They at least had
Yeah.
like the little cards, like where they had it marked
Yeah.
off in the press
Yeah.
seating area. And I forget which teams exactly had people actually show up, but yeah, man, there were some people out. So it's kind of fun. And those conversations, obviously, I mean, Coach Hodgson would be the first to say, like, man, that's awesome. Like, please talk to my
Oh yeah.
players.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because you can't tell a guy not to go to the NBA. That's the dream. That's the big time. So yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see how not only the players interact with the transfer portal in the offseason, but also Syracuse just fired their head coach. Coach Hodgson is from that area. Syracuse, big time program. There's a lot of rumors circulating. I'm sure a lot of Syracuse fans want him there, and rightfully so. He's done such a tremendous job at his previous 2 stops with Arkansas State and now USF. He's going to be a hot commodity. He's going to be a hot name in this next coaching cycle for men's basketball, but he seems to really like it here, and there's a very, I mean, it's a heck of a thing to be able to build a program or continue to build a program, and I don't know, it's something to keep in mind. And like I said, he seems to really enjoy it here. There's beautiful weather, and you get to be in Tampa. Like, there's worse places to live for sure. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll monitor that storyline as it moves forward, because that's going to be something to talk about in the off season. But we're not in the off season. They still got the AAC tournament. They still got potentially March Madness or whatever end of the season tournament they make it into. Hopefully it is March Madness, but regardless, we'll be monitoring all that stuff, of course. But want to move on to the women's basketball team, because hey, they deserve to get talked about quite a bit too, because they had a program milestone W after their win against Tulane. Just kind of grinded out a 58-49 victory. It was their 800th all-time program win, and their 13th 20-win season ever. They've hit that mark 12 times in the last 20 years. So it was really fun. This was a really fun game, even though it was kind of a grit and grind Memphis Grizzlies mid to early 2010s type of game. But it was fun, man. There were a lot of really good performances. Who were some of the folks that was it kind of the usual crowd? Katie Davidson and Leo Maputu. Who else stood out for you, Mr. Tariq?
Yeah, man. Carlo Brito also racked up a double-double. Just defense all around was just locking it up on Tulane. Tulane only shot 28% from the field goal for the entire night. So just all-around efforts from everyone. Eden Battle, Stephanie Ingram, also contributing. So it was a big win, just what you need. And, yeah, I mean, wherever the big thing that I like to see was just the offensive rebounds. We racked up 19. This was the highest total in AAC play. And just executing, even at the end of the half, 17-3 run to shut out the Green Wave. So again, we know where we stand. I think even if we lost this game, I think it wouldn't have changed our ranking. I think we would still be at number 3.
Right.
But so it just makes you think, we're not kind of slowing down. We're still firing on all cylinders. And
yeah,
maybe you're also thinking, if you're one of the players, hey, it's game 800, or we have the chance to win our 800th game. So
yeah, be part of history.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So big game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, closing on a 17-3 run, that's kind of nutty. Like, that's kind of insane. So really cool stuff there. And yeah, like you said, I think they were locked into that number 3 spot. But the good news for them is they only have to win one more game than the men's team. They start out in the quarterfinals Thursday against UTSA, who they've already beaten twice. So we'll see if they can beat them a third time, get the kind of the sweep, and then they'll kind of take it from there. It would be really cool if they managed to win this tournament. That would be really impressive. That would be a really, really cool storyline for this women's team, especially just with Jose Fernandez leaving, playing under an interim. I mean, there's some adversity there. There was some tough things that you had to deal with your coach leaving and whatnot. But they fought through it. They still had a very good season. There is nothing to cry about, nothing to scoff at in terms of their production this year. And similarly to the men's team, they had some award winners too, some team conference placements as well. What were some of the awards that you wanted to highlight, Mr. Tariq?
Absolutely. Yeah. Carlo Brito, second team all conference for the second straight year, just after a historic double-double run. And then Eden Battle, she grabbed third team and also all newcomer honors. She was ranked 6th in the league with 15 points per game. And on top of that, Stephanie Ingram, she took third team honors, led the entire conference with 5.7 assists per game. And actually her 178 total assists this year is actually the 4th highest single season total in the history of this program. So just some real spectacular stuff. Yeah,
man. I mean, it's just really cool to see USF players get their due. They have a great season, and the ladies had a phenomenal one. Even with like I said, even with the tumultuous changes and everything, they managed to just push through, take care of business. And I honestly don't think that number 3 is really too far off what most of the projections had them finishing at. So this is a really good year for them, and cool to see them get the recognition. So we'll see how they're able to do in the tournament. It starts tomorrow, March 12th, in case you're listening to this after. So it could be that it starts today for some folks if they're listening to this on Thursday. But yeah, regardless, it should be fun. Should be a fun tournament for sure, and we'll see if they can come out on top. But shifting our focus to the baseball team, because they had a heck of a weekend as well. They played Southern. They kicked that off with a 6-1 victory at home last Friday night. That's a Katy Perry song, I believe. So that's kind of fun. But they dominated game one of Saturday's doubleheader with a 15-1 blowout. And then they finished the sweep in game two of that with a 9-2 win. Michael Sine, he was locked in for that first half of the twin bill. He only gave up 1 run in 5 innings. He had an excellent outing. That's not quite a quality start. I think you have to pitch 6 innings for it to be a quality start, but still a nice outing for him for sure. And then they went to Jacksonville. They handled business with a high-scoring 11-6 road win. Who performed well in that Jacksonville game? I think Matt Rose had a little 3-run home run in the first inning, right? Was there anyone else?
Yep. There was Matt Rose, Nathan Early as well. Extended his reach-based streak
right?
to 13 straight games. And then Jorge De Cardenas, he earned his second win of the year after throwing nearly 4 innings of effective relief. So, yeah, man. We're now a perfect 7-0 this season in games where we hit at least 1 home run. Very, very neat stat that I had come across. Crazy, how these things are pulled. But,
hey, man.
Like I said, or, like we've said, and I know Jonathan has mentioned the PFF of, college basketball. I should probably ask you, you may know, is there like a PFF for college baseball?
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's countless. I know for Major League Baseball, like it's StatCast and Fangraphs and Baseball Savant and all that stuff. So I'm sure there's some kind of thing like that for college baseball. We'll have to look into that because that would actually be kind of cool, like tracking the exit velocities of the guys and tracking the spin rate of the pitchers or their.
Yeah, they got like, what's the RAS score in baseball?
That's actually a great question. So there's this thing in Major League Baseball called WAR, which is wins above replacement, which is sort of meant to be an all-encompassing stat that factors in your base running, your hitting, and your fielding. Or for pitchers, it's a little bit more straightforward. It's more just your straight run prevention and over a certain amount of innings where, there's not necessarily like they'll call it a process WAR, which is basically like factoring in like your exit velocity, your contact rates, like how much you are able to make contact with the ball, your chase rates, which basically means like how often you chase pitches out of the strike zone, and trying to combine all of that into like one all-encompassing metric would sort of, I guess, be maybe the closest thing to a RAS for baseball, I guess, but they don't quite have that yet. At least not that I'm aware of. There's probably something out there for it, but yeah, man, that'd be fun. I love getting into the advanced analytics stuff with baseball, especially. If Zach thinks I'm obnoxious with football advanced analytics, it's kind of a whole different ball game with baseball, but yeah, it should be kind of fun. But the Bulls return home to host the first and only 4-game series of the season. They're taking on Columbia, and game 1 is a couple days from now, Friday, March 13th. So that's something to keep in mind. And yeah, the baseball team, man, they're off to a really hot start. There's definitely one team to watch for in the American Conference because, once tournament time comes around for baseball as well, they're not quite in conference play yet, but that'll start as well. So it's going to be really fun. And softball, speaking of, actually already started their conference play. They kicked off their first series with a 9-4 win over Memphis on Friday afternoon. Kylie Strott, she sparked that comeback in the first game because they were down, but she managed to start it with a 3-run home run. That was really, really fun. And then they absolutely trounced Memphis in their second game of that doubleheader Friday with a 12-3 blowout victory. It was really impressive. Alexa Galliani led the charge. She had a massive 4 RBI performance. And USF completed the weekend sweep Sunday morning, 5-2 victory over the Tigers. So that was really fun. Alex Wilkes, she had a 2-run homer in the late stages to take the lead. Karis Pierce was a consistent threat. She had a hitting streak of 4 games over those games. So that was really fun. Ann Long, she was a great reliever. She came in to throw 6 scoreless to earn the win. They also didn't commit a single error. I know that's kind of sort of an arbitrary thing, maybe, but in college baseball and softball, errors are a little bit more prevalent than they are in Major League Baseball. So it's really impressive to see their defense be, so stout. And with the sweep, 28-8 overall, perfect 3-0 start to conference play. So that's kind of exciting. Where's the softball team headed next? Who are they taking on next, Mr. Treek?
Yeah, well, Charlotte comes to us starting this Friday, March 13th. So, yeah, man, should be a
Yeah,
good
should be a lot
one.
of fun.
Like we've seen, just a lot of good stuff we've heard, during the off season about this softball program, Coach Erickson. So, I'm just excited to see, it's actually happening. I mean, 28, 3-0 in the conference. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a great start, man. It should be a really exciting season for them too. Both baseball and softball are cooking, similar to men's and women's baseball. They're both pretty evenly like solid. And yeah, man, it should be a lot of fun. We'll see if the softball team can keep that hot conference play up, because that would be really fun. If they can manage to make some noise in the conference, and then once that tournament comes around, take care of business and maybe make some really interesting storylines to cover throughout this season. But the lacrosse team, they had a tough test at Corbett Stadium. They dropped a home matchup to Navy 19-8. What were some key takeaways from this loss? I know it's tough to take a loss like that, but there were still some nice performances. Who stood out for you, Mr. Tariq?
Yeah, still there's some players that deserve their flowers. Caitlin Tartaglione and Ava Uphughes, they led the offensive effort for the team, both racking up 2 goals apiece. Shout out Maggie Newton, the primary facilitator for the attack game. She finished the afternoon with 2 assists. They did battle hard in the draw circle all day, matching Navy 15-3. And then Elise Grissett, Julia Huxtable, Callie Cleary, and Kalina Johnson each added a goal to the stat sheet as well. So we did, show some life in the fourth quarter. We put up 3 goals for our highest scoring period of the game. Despite the loss, our defense did remain active against a pretty high-powered Navy offense. They took 37 shots at us. So,
Oof, that's a lot.
yeah, man. So, look, the conference play starts now. We're going to be headed on over to Philadelphia to take on Temple this Saturday. So, should be an exciting matchup. And yeah, now it's time for the not that these games didn't matter, but now it's conference play now, so time to really lock in.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I mean, conference play, it's kind of starting to kick the tires on some of some of the spring sports. It's really coming around. So yeah, we'll see how the lacrosse team can do. And it's still a young program. They're
Yeah,
still
still young.
yeah,
It's
in their
just nice to see. Look, it's just nice to see every single USF program getting that exposure.
for
The
sure.
USF football, they got some exposure playing real, good teams. UF and Miami this year. I mean, even Boise State, but UF and Miami. Whether we won, lost, got demolished, it didn't matter. Just getting that exposure. Same thing with basketball for men's and women's. We played Bama. I think we played another big team. We played maybe
Oklahoma State.
yeah, Oklahoma State for men's, and then for women's, yeah, I know we had a couple, man.
Yeah,
UConn, South
UConn, Duke,
Carolina. So
UCLA.
yeah, man. Same thing goes for lacrosse, man. We're hanging with the big dogs, and that's what matters right now, especially being it's only a second year program.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's tough to really establish yourself as a program in that regard. So yeah, we'll see how they continue their you said second year, right? This is their second.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we'll see how they continue. Only their second year, man. Like that's kind of fun. So yeah, should be a lot of fun to watch them go to work and see how they do. But moving on to the beach volleyball team, they had the Tampa Beach Brawl this past weekend, and they had a perfect weekend, 4-0. They had a statement victory over crosstown rival UT, 4-1, and then they had a clean 5-0 sweep against Barry University. And then Saturday morning started strong. USF took down Palm Beach Atlantic 4-1. And then they had to face Eckerd, and Eckerd was a bit of a tougher one. They took home a 3-2 victory over Eckerd, and that moved their season record to 8-4. Who are the key performances from this match or from this weekend tournament? This is kind of fun, man. A Tampa Beach Brawl, you don't.
yeah,
Yeah,
dude. I mean, yeah, NCAA beach volleyball now here in our backyard. A
that's
whole bunch
right.
of
Yeah.
schools coming to our town. Hell yeah,
Mhm.
man. Yeah, shout out Kate Stewart and Teresa Lechikabova Just both problems all weekend long for the opponents. They finished with a perfect 4-0 pair record. Julia Panko and Cornelia Crudu, they came through in the clutch versus Palm Beach Atlantic, winning that 3-set thriller to seal the duel. And then pair 3 consists of Ryan, Janest, and Isabella Almeida. They secured the final win with a 19-17 third set nail biter against Eckerd. So now, our Bulls will be headed into the mid-March 4-game winning streak, momentum, and going up to Conway, South Carolina this weekend for the Coastal Carolina Invitational, going against teams like Morehead State, Coastal Carolina, Salem College, Tennessee Tech.
Hey, there we go. That should be a lot of fun. It was just so cool to see like schools like Eckerd and UT kind of participate and get some shine in the Tampa Beach Brawl. Like it was cool, man. I don't know. I know they're going to South Carolina this weekend for that Coastal Carolina Invitational, but I thought this was really cool for them to sweep. Obviously, USF a big time program, so kind of expect it, but at the same time, it's beach volleyball. Some crazy stuff can happen. So it was cool to see, and it's cool to see the ladies show out for sure. So yeah, man, we'll see how they can do in Conway, because hey, Coastal Carolina, it should be a lot of fun. But now we'll move on to tennis, and the men's tennis team. They fell just short. They had the War on I-4 matchup, but UCF is number 9, and they were at home. So USF fell just short, 4-3. They were in front of a record crowd too. A lot of people showed out for this. Who are the key individual performances? Because I know there were like to have a performance like that against such a high ranked program. There must have been some folks showing out. So who are the guys that put forth a really strong performance this past weekend?
Yeah, man, it was a dogfight, Carter. Our team led by our best player Elijah Sham. He got that statement win on court 2 against the Knights with a dominant 6-3, 6-3 performance. Augustin Coeller, he battled back in his match, won in a tiebreak 10-5 on court 5. And then we, traveled on over to Stillwater and, had a 4-1 loss to Oklahoma State. Did what we could, but the only point we were able to get was from Stefan Maruzek, which was pretty close. I mean, it was, again, another dogfight, so it was at that number 2 spot. So, yeah, man, just both of these games, obviously that UCF one, just, real unfortunate just because it's one of the few, I-4 battles we have.
Right.
So yeah, that one was tough, but there's always many more games ahead, and we're going against some tough competition, man. Oklahoma State's 34th ranked in the nation right now, so we did what we could, and unfortunately we had to handle another loss against Tulsa, some conference play. Now it was 4-2 loss, so. We tried to do what we could, but I do feel like, some guys deserve their flowers, like Tameo Gallard. He got his first career collegiate single win, 6-3, then lost in the second set, 3-6, but then won 6-1. Augustin Coeller, he racked up a win as well during that trip. And then for doubles, the duo of Hugo Carr and Tameo Gallard, kind of working some new chemistry now. They've got a 7-5 win in Tulsa, so that was nice to see. So it's been a tough stretch for our men's tennis team, Carter. We've played several ranked opponents. So as of right now, we're standing at 3-11. Yeah, we're gonna be hosting Middle Tennessee this Saturday. So fingers crossed we get the win. But I'll be honest with you, man. It's just college tennis. I really can't say, how talent is, worked out and all that, like recruiting and all that, because it's really not like any other sport. You know what I'm saying? Right. For college hockey, you're probably getting the best kids either international or from, New York or Minnesota, or then, South Florida is known for, football talent. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
those kind of things. But for tennis, first of all, we know, as I mentioned, is international. But yeah, you can find good talent anywhere. But yeah, colleges pick and choose. So, hey, man, it's all good though, man.
Yeah. We'll see how if they're able to turn that, right the ship or turn it around or whatever cliche you want to use. But yeah, it's tough. Luckily, the women had a nice little victory. They dominated number 57 Penn 6-1. It was really impressive. They got the double points early thanks to a 6-2 win from Drukarova and Falster, and a 6-1 beat down by Miglio and Senley. So that's really fun. Falster kept the energy high in singles as well. She had a 6-3, 6-3 win on court 4 that pushed the lead. And then Francesca Miglio, she stayed hot as well. Another straight set 6-3, 6-3 victory. So that put them up 3-0. And then Drukarova, she showed some real feistiness in a really tough 3-set thriller, like 6-2, 2-6, and then 7-5. It really came down to the wire there, and that clinched the team victory. But they still stayed locked in. Margarita Marcone did not. She was just refusing to go away. Really, she dropped the first set, but then battled back to win a 7-3 third set tiebreak. It was really impressive. And then Melissa Senley, she also capped off the excellent afternoon. She outlasted her opponent in a 10-7 match tiebreak on court 1. So that moved them to 4-6 on the season, but it adds a really huge ranked win to their spring resume. It was really fun. They only dropped one singles point the entire day at the home courts, so that was really impressive. And they've got a 3-match weekend here in Tampa. They're going to stay here at home and face VCU tonight, and then number 27 Yale and number 69 Liberty this weekend. So they've got a lot going on there with the women's team as well, having a little bit of a better year than the men's team, but there's still some room for improvement on both sides. But that's bringing us towards the end of our episode. We really appreciate y'all for tuning in. Any closing thoughts on USF athletics, Mr. Tariq?
I was just gonna say that I'm pretty sure maybe the tennis match is over. Actually, it is. Yeah. So hey, I got good news for y'all listeners. To say thank you for tuning in with us. I am proud to announce that our University of South Florida women's tennis team won today 4-3 against Virginia Commonwealth University.
Hey, there you go.
What a way to finish off the episode.
Now they're 5-6
with the buzzer beater win from our women's tennis team.
There you go. We'll break that down a little bit more next week. We're running out of time here, but really appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. We'd really appreciate it if you enjoyed what you heard. Shout out to my wonderful co-host, Mr. Musab Tariq. He made my job incredibly easy. He does so much work behind the scenes. Y'all have no idea. Really appreciate our producer as well, Mr. Rico Wheeler. He's putting in work as well. You might notice we're on a new platform, so we're having some fun with that. And by fun, I do not actually mean fun. But regardless, we'll see y'all next week, regardless of whatever platform we're on. We'll be talking about the USF Athletics Department because that's all we know. And until then, and as always, go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.